Hey, this is director, producer Alan Wills, and I am on Positive Power 21 with Jerry Royce Live. And when I'm online, I listen to Jerry Royce Live at www.spreaker.com/positivepower21.org. Y'all heard?
I always listen to what people say. Afraid to use the ideas in my own head. Giving too much, making it tough for me. But
Hello, this is Cheryl White, author of Restoration, Faith, Process, and Manifestation. I'm on jerry-royce-live worldwide.
You are listening to positivepower21.org with Jerry Royce.
What up? It's your boy Kano Kingston.
Hi, this is Angel Sessions.
Hey, this is Pat. Hi, I'm Teresa Powell.
Hi, Jerry. This is Iowa Sandro Carter.
Hi, this is Paul Powers.
Hello, this is Teresa Bobby with Jerry Royce Live.
Hi, I'm Philip Barron. I'm live on the Jerry Royce Show.
Hey, what it do? It's your boy Houston Saint.
Peace, this is Dahlia the poet, spoken word artist.
Hello, this is Ramon Marquis with Jerry Royce Live.
All right, everyone. You got Robin Lynn, and I'm keeping it live right now on Jerry Royce Live.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up? This is a award-winning podcast with the greatest podcast on earth. Thank you for stopping by. I'm your host, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide on Internet Radio, where you get your positive on. So when it's all positive, it's all power. That's positive power. This is a worldwide podcast for growth, wealth, and success. Thank you.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Positive Power 21.org. Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power 21? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am Jerry Royce Live. I am blessed, and I am worldwide. Philippians 4:6 reads, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God your needs, and don't forget to thank Him for His answers. You're listening to episode 387, and our guest tonight is Cheryl White. That's right. She's the author of Restoration, Faith, Process, and Manifestation. It's in a paperback book. It was released on June 30th. And her bio reads, Cheryl White is a senior servant of the Praying Wives and Technology Ministries at Truth and Life Family Worship Center in Baltimore, Maryland, when she and her husband Winslow served under the awesome leadership of Pastor Daryl K. Ham and First Lady Allegra Ham. Cheryl is founder of GAPP Ministries, where the focus is geared towards empowering men and women to pray without ceasing for transformation of their lives into God's will and to allow the Lord to have His perfect work in each of them. She has an anointing on her life to minister to women. There is nothing is too hard for the Lord, and God, all things are possible. Cheryl emphasizes to all women that the importance of speaking and decreeing God's word is that His word will not return back to Him void, but when they must speak what God says regarding all situations and circumstances. Cheryl desires to see all women walk in their God's delighted authority and the wisdom of God, and to be all that God has called them to be. Her message is clear. Women can see lives transform as they stand in a gap, decreeing what those say God, the Lord, in regards to their husbands and families. In her book, Are You Believing God to Restore Your Marriage? The fastest in His book are designed to take one standing for their marriage by the hand, leading them through the marital restoration process. God took Cheryl on a journey to marital restoration, and now she's expressing to the world. Walk with Cheryl as she encourages each stander as they embark to walk by faith and not by sight, encouraging each one to stand, believing God for their marriage to be restored as their faith grows, enabling them to go through the process to the manifestation. All right, and it's not what you see currently that matters, it's what God has said that stands. All right, we're going to talk to Cheryl after this song. So this is always one of my favorites right here. So this is Touch Me by Linton Louise Smith. All right, that must have been the short version. Is right. That's Touch Me by Linton and Louise Smith. And you heard earlier, you heard a great hit, and that was by Deshaun Nichols. Man, I wish I had that thing pulled up. I never can remember some of these titles, some of these songs I don't play all the time. But that was Nicole Deshaun Nichols, and she has one of my favorite songs that we play all the time is From the Inside Out. And I'll get the title of that last song so that I find it on my dashboard. But anyway, we got Cheryl White here tonight. Before we bring her out, let me remind you guys that pretty much all day on Monday you can hear gospel music from our gospel music coming out of Florida. So if you want to tune right here on Spreaker Radio, where it's in high definition audio, you're welcome. And don't forget, it's also on demand on our website at positivepower21.org and Spreaker Radio under Positive Power 21. Also, don't forget about the many, many podcasts we have. That's right. We got 21 channels. That's right. 21 channels on positivepower21.org. You have a choice of music and talk radio with Kimmy Kim and a host of many, many others. That's right. So check them out. There's some beautiful, beautiful characters, lively personalities, and they all have the life and the breath of Jesus Christ blowing through their lungs, and they just love to talk about the good Lord and love for him. So check them out, y'all. If you're looking for empowerment, you got Pastor Bello, both the Bellos, Senior Pastor Bomadella Bello and his lovely wife Rhonda Bello. They're doing Bible study, and we got Pastor Virginia Singleton coming out of South Carolina. You can catch her Bible study. And don't forget the famous anointed one, Pastor Daryl K. Ham, bringing that powerful, powerful sermon. That's right, the anointed one. And we have one of his parishioners right here, Cheryl White. Welcome to the show, Cheryl White. How you doing tonight?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. So glad to get you on the show. Almost forgot about you. It's been a couple of weeks since you've been to your church and did their live podcast. That was
yes,
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a great time, my son and I. That's right. Jordan loves setting up. That's his thing. He loved it. So we had a great time. We got a great podcast out of that, and we got a chance to meet some of the parishioners, got a chance to meet you, got you on tape. People can come out to the site and see Cheryl White as she talk about how God had blessed her. All right, Cheryl, so the first question is, who is Cheryl White?
Well, Cheryl is a person that grew up in Decatur, Illinois, which probably a lot of people have never heard of, but I'm a Midwest girl. Was born and raised there, and I went to Illinois State University for my undergrad, and then ventured off for 12 years to Chicago, Illinois. And lived there for a while and, earned my master's degree, and then I came out to Maryland.
Oh, Maryland. So
yes.
So what got you down here to old Maryland?
Well, honestly, when I was 18, my aunt and uncle lived in Germantown, Maryland. And from my high school graduation, they brought me out to Maryland. And I said after that visit that one day I wanted to come back to Maryland. Now, I didn't know that, basically 19 years later that God would do what I asked him to do. But I met my my husband, and he was in Maryland, and God opened up so many doors for me to say to me that this was the move to make.
And your husband is the famous one of the Truth and Life, many hats that he wears there, and that's Winslow White, correct?
Yes, Winslow, yes.
Good man. Yeah, we've been communicating with him a lot. All right, so now you're here. So Winslow, Winslow is a native Baltimorean, or he's from the outskirts of Baltimore also?
Actually, he is from Tabor, North Carolina. So he's a Southern, He's from North Carolina. And then the military, I guess, actually brought him to the Maryland area. So
okay, it's the same story with Pastor Ham, right? He's from that same area, correct?
Well, actually, he's from South Carolina.
He's from South Carolina. Okay.
He's from South Carolina.
That's right. There's so many South Carolina people that work with us Oh, wow. South Carolina. So, and I think the military kind of got him in this area at the same time, too. I think.
Yes, it did.
Pretty long career.
We always say the military along with God.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He will lead you. That's right.
Yes.
All right. So so how did you meet the good man, the Winslow? How did you meet him?
Actually, we met in the airport, and we just began. We just began talking, and it was just amazing to us how God opened up the door for my move to Maryland. In fact, the way it went was I had just gotten a new job in Chicago, Illinois, and I was so excited because I was making so much more money than my prior job. And I get an email that says, hey, we're looking for a business analyst in Annapolis, Maryland. Well, I had just gotten this job, so I wasn't looking at that time to move. And so literally I submitted my resume on a Tuesday. I had a phone screen on a Thursday, and by that Monday, they offered me the job over the phone, even more money than I was making at my new job. And so it was just like a flow of events that, brought me to Maryland. And even once I got here, I said, okay, God, if this is what you would like for me to do, I said, I need a place to stay. So began looking for places to stay, and the lady basically said this when I went to look at the home. She said, if you want this house, give me the security deposit. She did no background check. She did no credit check, nothing. She said it would be yours.
Wow.
And so I said, okay, God, this is what you want for me to do. So.
And that's straight out of college? So that was straight?
No, there's about 12 years difference. It's about 12 years that passed. I was actually married before, and my husband passed away. And so, there was a chain of events that happened to get me to Maryland. But I always say God is faithful. He is faithful.
Yeah, that's right. So what airport you was in, BWI when you met him?
BWI. Yes.
Wow. So you was flying in, or you was about to fly out?
About to fly out. Yes, about to fly out.
Waiting, and he was about to fly out.
Yeah.
So you guys were going back home. And he was going home on the same flight.
Yeah. No, not same flight. Just in passing.
Oh, wow. So you just happened because I know like the airport's kind of divided up. Like everybody pretty much sit together who's flying together, unless you just found a seat because you wanted to sit and chill and eat something. So,
right.
So where were you? We
were just it was just like restaurant area, just conversating.
Wow, you guys just started chit-chatting in the airport. So you must have a long layover or something. You got there super early.
Well, I always say it's just like divine destination. It was just a divine moment.
Wow, that is something. And he seemed like a really, really nice guy, too. Just a short time, I got a chance to hang out with you guys, real polite, remind you, the type of guy that's like, open up and say, hey, what's mine is yours, So
yeah, he really is an awesome person. He's an excellent cook. He has a business called Southern Smoke Barbecue, and it's that North Carolina style barbecue that you don't find anywhere else. So now in Baltimore, we have it now. So
where do we find them?
We're in Owings Mills, Maryland. We have a website. It's Southern Smoke NC.com. And you go there, and all the information is there.
So he is in Owings Mills. I live in Owings Mills. So
yes.
Can you walk up? Can you drive up?
It's more of we do more of catering, and we do orders, but it's more of a catering situation at this point. At this moment, we are looking for a location. So
okay, wow, that'd be awesome because we don't have enough places in this area. I mean, all we have pretty much is Georgia Peach, where you can't, sit around and chill, and then Granny's, which is a little smaller now, and everybody's jammed up in there. I mean, the parking lot is even is packed. You know, Shannon,
yes.
the gym and the Rita's place, and now Lito's. So it's kind of being kind of congested. So are you guys looking for a location in this area?
Yes, we're looking for a location in this area. Yes.
Wow, that'd be awesome. And there's a lot of people from the South. So, you know, like my family, we pretty much from Eastern Shore, even though I grew up, you know, I was born here, but basically our roots, you know, Eastern Shore. You know, we love cooking outside, eat outside, sleep outside. That's our thing. Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Now, I remember Pastor having some caterers come in, bringing, you know, some of the luncheons that we had. I just thought that potato salad was the best in the world. Is that you guys?
That wasn't us. That's probably was the Taste of Home Cook. It's another member of our church.
Okay.
But he is known for his pulled chicken, his pulled pork, his ribs. I mean, just anything like the North Carolina style. And he made a new batch yesterday, and I was just in awe. It was like I have a new taste each time he does it, you know.
Yeah. So does he make his own barbecue sauce?
Yes, he does.
Boy, wow, that's incredible. I can't wait. I'm about to push this thing. My son and I, we are really big in ribs, and I love me some pulled beef, pulled pork. It doesn't matter because I'm a protein guy. My new diet is pretty much a lot of protein now.
Yeah, mine too.
Fresh, a lot of fresh salad. I really don't mess around too much with processed stuff anymore. But, wow, I can't wait. I'm excited for you guys. Congratulations.
Yes.
I know it's going to happen. God has his hands on that.
Yes, he does.
We need that place. I know my wife is going to be rooting for you guys, too. Out of place. She's like, where you want to go? And we always end up at the same place, Bonefish. And I'm always hungry when I leave out that place.
Right.
Can't wait. I'm pulling for you guys. Now, what time is it? Okay, we still got a few minutes to talk about the whites. All right, now you got this big plan, you know, on a restaurant. So you're going to be the first lady of the restaurant? You're going to be right there in there with them, or you're going to still hang on to your job?
Wherever God wants. You know, if that's where he wants us to go, the direction he wants us to go, that's fine. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
But his cooking speaks for itself. It really does.
Yeah. I'm going to be right in there with you guys, too. Just let me do a podcast, something. Have a radio show up there on Fridays, bring everybody up in there, have a good time. So it's going to be a nice Christian place where Christians can come and fellowship.
Yes.
You going to have dancing and stage plays and stuff? Is it
gonna be yes. Like that? It's going to be like that. And like you said, that Southern home cooking is what, it's going to grab.
Right.
Yes.
That's right. That's awesome. Now, they're doing a lot of development in the area, as you can see, a lot going on Dolefield Road. I'm not sure how the ordinances work in this area. I know my church, I attend the church on Winers, and I know the pastor was talking about how they gave him a fit trying to get a sign just so he can communicate to the community that the doors are open. When you drive past the place, you can't tell what's going on,
Right.
So, so he got a nice high-tech sign out there now, and he can communicate with the community, let them know when there's going to be stage plays or concerts. And I'm sure that is something that is probably going to be available. Businesses can come in and do some stuff. Because I'm looking to do some stuff like that myself, bring some of these marvelous independent singers to Maryland, to this area, because the place is huge, nice size, stage,
yes.
Nice sound stage and everything. And it'd be perfect to bring a nice caterer in that can serve up a delicious meal. And, there's a bunch of stuff that it's a lot we can do for Christians, which is not being done right now. So
right.
I'm happy where we are right now, and I can see some big things going on. So we'll pray on that.
Yes, most definitely.
That'd be a wonderful relationship. And I like Winslow a lot, so that'd be awesome. All right.
Oh yes.
So we're gonna take a real quick break, Cheryl. So when we come back, we'll be ready to talk about this book. That's right, Restoration, Faith, Process, Manifestation. Paperback.
All right.
What is the price of your book? So I didn't get the price.
It's $15 on Amazon.com.
It sure is. $15. You can't go. That's a good deal. Now,
yeah.
When we get back, we're going to talk about, can people get in a digital download? People really into their digital devices these days. But then you still got old school they like to smell those pages.
Yes.
You got to give up both, All right. Let's see. We're going to play my favorite. Oh, this is my favorite lady she's from out west. Marilyn Dunn. Let's check her out. Marilyn Dunn.
You can't get through.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live, Worldwide Podcast.
Yeah, you tell them, Robot. You listen to Jerry Royce Live, Worldwide Podcast. We're talking to Cheryl White. We just finished listening to Marilyn Dunn. Her and her lovely, her husband, Kevin Dunn, is her manager, making things happen. Maybe one day we get them to come on out here to Maryland and let Maryland tear it up. All right. Are you believing God to restore your marriage? The fastest in this book are designed to take one standing for their marriage by the hand, leading them through the marital restoration process. God took Cheryl on a journey to marital restoration that she is now expressing to the world. Cheryl White, why you write this book? Tell us.
I wrote this book out of just gratitude for what God had done for me. I made a promise to the Lord once He restored my marriage that I would write, and that I would do my best to express what He did, so that others that might find themselves in similar situations, when led by God to stand, would be helped. And so I was fulfilling my promise to the Lord.
Yeah. So is this book from the first marriage or the second one?
This is from the second.
The second. Oh. So it was a little downhill. Going on.
Yeah, a little downhill. Things happen. And sometimes you find yourself in situations where you don't know what to do. And, it's just the fact that I guess now I know. If I didn't know before, I know that God hears our prayers and He answers our prayers.
Yeah. So were you a praying woman before this book?
And you know what? And that's a good question. Yes, I was. To me, I guess to myself, I was a praying woman. I was a woman of God. But I found out through this that there was another level of prayer that the Lord was taking me to. I think a lot of times we become kind of stagnant. You think, our God is infinite, but sometimes we think we may know everything there is to know. And through this situation, I found out that not that I didn't know anything, but that there's another level, and there's still another level. Comfortability is something that Christians should not get stuck on, because God always has more for us to learn.
Mm-hmm. Now, what you recommend to couples, before they pick up your book? I mean, because you experienced, you were able to share a lot in this book. What would you recommend for them to do first if they have a little downhill going?
Number one is go back to their wedding day. Go back to what they said, not just in front of the pastor or the preacher that married them, but what they said before God. And really think about what was said on that day. When we take vows, people can sometimes take them or leave them and not really understand that there's a third part of that cord that's there on that day. So go back to that day. Go back to your promises. Then, you pray. And, some people seek counsel. Some people, just pray and ask the Lord for guidance. But I always say that God has all the answers. So if you're willing to pray and ask God, He will direct you and guide you.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you guys seek counseling?
We did seek counsel. But I think at that particular point in our lives, God really just was dealing with both of us. A lot of times we want to look at things on one end of the spectrum, but there are two imperfect people coming together, making their life as one. And even with people that know, quote unquote, know God, love God with all of their heart, in order for God to get you to your purpose and your destiny, there's some things He's got to work out of you, and that's both people. It's not just one person.
That's right. I got to get you on a show with our pastor Gerald Manning. Here's a book out that talks about before you get married, choosing your soulmate. I keep forgetting the beginning title of that book. I don't know why I keep forgetting it. But we're supposed to do a show starting September. Once a month, We're going to cover a couple chapters and invite a panel to come in and join us. So we'd love to include you on it, since you have a book dealing with marriage. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Get the Christians together. That's right.
Yeah.
Panel discussion. That's right. And we could be civilized. Of course, everybody won't agree on everything, but we'll hear it out. Now,
yes.
Let's back up a little bit about before marriage. Of course, you women. That's kind of on your bucket list when you're single. Single woman. You're looking at that clock. That little clock in your head. Like, you want to be married by this time. You want to have children by this time. You want to have your degrees by this time. That dream job. That 2-car garage house and the Mercedes. You guys have a serious bucket list, especially. I'm not even going to put no race color on it because everybody's like that.
Right.
Tell us about your bucket list, Cheryl. You had one? Did you have one before marriage?
You know what? When I think about, I didn't really have a bucket. I didn't know what a bucket list was then. I just, even from a small child, it was like a light bulb would come on with right and wrong. Even I go back through my college years. I was more of the mother on the floor. The one that told me, you know what, you really shouldn't be doing this. Why are you going out and do, A, B, and C? I just always wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be a mother. There were some just certain things I wanted to do, but I have to say a lot of it was me looking at other people. If I look at my parents, before my father went home to be with the Lord, they were married over 40 years. And so, when I looked at them, not understanding at that time that I had a different destiny and a different purpose than they did. My father loved my mother till the day I looked at other people's lives and said, I want this. I want this car. Okay, you know what? I want this person to look like this. And as I go back over my life, none of it, I did get some cars I wanted, but, I didn't get what maybe the Huxtables had put on TV or even my father, so I look at things like that. So bucket list, not really. I guess I would pick and choose from different aspects of my life and say, okay, I want this, I want that, but found out that wasn't what God had for me.
Right. You think Christian women are hard on themselves first?
I think Christian women.
Successful. Like when you talk about wanting to be successful and have like the Huxtable type lifestyle, if possible.
I guess I had to go back. My mentality is a little bit different. My father, when we moved into the neighborhood we were in, we were the only black family in this neighborhood. This was in the 1970s, and we were the only black family in this neighborhood. My father was the first black male nurse in our town at this time. So I had the example of there are no racial limits. There are no limits to what you could do. When we were in school, my father would not let us take anything less than what was needed. So for example, if they said, okay, we're going to put them in a remedial math class, my father said, no, they're going to take algebra. So he pushed us. So it wasn't until I got to college in my own life that I found out, wait a minute, there's some color lines here. There's some things going on that, my husband would say I was kind of sheltered, but there was no limitations on what I could do. Even beyond college, my dad was like, okay, where's your master's degree? When you're going back to school, You know, I was like, Dad, I'm fine. He's like, no, you need more. So, you know, that's one of the things I want to tell some of the young people today is that stop looking at what the racial lines say you can do, what man says you can do. With God, all things are possible. You just have to put your mind to it.
Mm-hmm. And this book.
So, yeah.
Who's the book really for?
The book is for I would say the book is for those who are desiring marriage. It is for those that are going through the downhill in their marriage. Mm-hmm. And for people that are healing from, you know, a broken marriage. Because, you know, and like I said, each scenario is different, but it goes back to what you said on the day you said I do, what you meant, and not understanding that there's an adversary that doesn't want that to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think we leave that part out.
Mm-hmm. Now, Cheryl, in your research, what's the number one factor that's causing a lot of couples problems that they can't?
From what I've looked at as far as, you know, the world of finances, there is a vast expanse on, you know, who's supposed to control the money, who makes more money, who spends more money, you know, but I look at that is kind of like, that's not an underlying problem. That is a problem that seeded from somewhere else. And it goes back to even before marriage, how you handled your finances, what you saw in your home growing up. Were you raised, you know, we had what we needed, but we didn't always have what we wanted. And now that I look back on it, all we needed was what we needed. And when we made our own money, we could get what we wanted.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what you recommend to couples, you know, when it comes to their finance? I mean, first getting together, you know, first dating, you know, engagement is happening, planning for the wedding. What would you recommend first?
Never going outside of what you know you can do. You have to live after the wedding. You have to, you know, there's bills after that. And so do you really need a $10,000 dress? You know, for one day, for a few hours, you know, and when all the guests go away and everybody goes home and you have this life to build, but you're building from a negative. You know, so what is it that you need to do in the wedding phase that you need to cut out to prepare for the rest of your life?
That's right. Now, a lot of couples start out even before the marriage. Somebody has a bad credit score. Somebody has no credit but has, you know, a good job. And they in careers that they're going to move up. Do you recommend that they sit down with a financial manager or like a bank, you know, to talk about? I mean, is there any place out there that couples can go to and get workshops, you know, and find out what they do?
I mean, yeah, there are financial management courses I'm sure that, you know, people can go to. I think the main thing is, do either of you or both of you have a vision? Let's just say, for example, somebody does have bad credit and the other one doesn't. But does the person with the bad credit have a plan or a vision that that the other person can help them with? It's when you don't have goals that the issue comes about. You know, if you're looking for the other person to fix your financial issues and then you run off, you know, those are motives that you need to look at. But if you both have vision and goals, you know, I have an entrepreneurial spirit, so does my husband. You know, I'm going to support him and back him in everything he does. You know, so we understand that our source doesn't come from actually our giftings. It comes from God, you know, being a tither, being a giver. So we have that underlying understanding. So with that, we can build on that. Right. You know, so it deals with your vision.
Now, Now, you said the number one reason most couples fail because of finance. What's number two?
Number two is, to me, I won't say religion, but it is a dual or different understanding of the role of each person. For example, if one person has, a degree and the other person does it, do you hold it over their head? Do you say, okay, you know what? And actually, I put a plug out there for the War Room, and what you see a lot of what we're discussing tonight in this movie, and it's such an excellent movie. But it's like, who weighs more in the marriage? Does the husband weigh more? Does the wife weigh more, or does God weigh the most? Communication, the breakdown in communication is a big one. You have to be able to communicate.
That's right. Yeah, it is. That's right up there. Communication. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes you have couples that may struggle with the communication. You may have one person is very good with communicating, another person a little bit more laid back, don't really express themselves that much. But does that mean they unequally yoked, or it just means that person just had problems expressing themselves? Maybe it's just the way they are. I think it's just a person having a problem expressing themselves. It doesn't really deal with the unequally yoked. I think it's more of the different communication styles. I have a roundabout way of getting to things, and it's I have a roundabout way, and my husband is direct and straight to the point. So it's figuring out how to communicate, and I'm still learning. I'm just being honest. I'm still learning that. But I take it back to watching my parents. My parents never argued in front of in front of us. So I never heard my father raise his voice at my mother. And now as an adult, I understand. Yeah, that when they went into the bedroom, they had discussions. But the children never heard that. A lot of respect.
Yeah.
Now, Cheryl, I've been doing this show for a good while now. I get a lot of guests, and it didn't go that well with the parents. The kids experienced, they witnessed domestic abuse, spiritually, verbally, and violently. Mm-hmm. Anything in your book that can walk a person through that, help them, get out of a situation? Any discussion of that in your book?
Well, what I do discuss is that if you find yourself in a domestic issue, abuse, that you remove yourself. People a lot of times want to put Christianity, well, I'm believing God, so I'm just going to stay. No, sometimes you need to remove yourself and believe God. The people that constructed the Love and Respect conference, the Love and Respect books, the gentleman gives a testimony of his mother who was abused and how she removed herself from the situation and the children, and she prayed and she believed God. And God did restore that marriage. The man came to Christ and they came back together and, they lived their life. But don't stay in a situation like that and endangering your life or the life of your children on the oasis of believing God.
Right. Now, yeah, absolutely. Amen. Now, did you almost give up on this?
Yeah, many days. Just saying, God, I just can't. Because what happens is when you're in a walk like this, you walk by faith and not by sight. So you're basically in I call it another world. It's another world you're in. And no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, you are standing on what God has said in his word. So there were many times I told God, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I remember one specific time I told him that. And for 2 weeks I heard nothing from God. And I went back in prayer and I said, God, I'm not hearing anything. Why aren't you speaking? He said, because the last time I spoke, you didn't do what I told you to do. So why should I continue speaking? And at that point, I repented. And I said, God, I'm sorry. But, thank God for God, because he already knew I was going to do that. Mm-hmm. And so I repented, and from that point on, I gave up some more, but not at that extent. Not to the extent where God wasn't speaking anymore. So, yes.
So at the end, what did it take to restore?
God. It took God. It took me really trusting in who he is, who God is. God, basically what he was doing in my life, he was taking me from knowing God to knowing God, and to really understanding that the word is alive and active, and that when he says something, that's what he means. We as people get caught up in time, and when we think something should happen. I didn't think none of this stuff that happened should have happened. I just thought we both love God. We're both in the church. We're supposed to go forward, not understand that the devil was waiting right there, because he understands the power of covenant more so than what humans do.
That's right. He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It sounds like a must-needed book. I'm not sure if everybody can get a copy right now because we don't know. But we're going to ask Cheryl. Cheryl, is this book going to be, is it ever going to be available on digital download so everybody can get it?
Yes. I am in the process of working on that. Because I understand everybody's got a Kindle or a Nook. So I am working on that now. It's a separate process. I had to get it out in the print format first, and then I'll be working. Now I'm working on the digital download.
Because it sounds like a much-needed book, because it's going good today, tomorrow, not too good. But you sound like, somebody need a little bit of, guidance. So is this book kind of like a little guide, or
it's
a
guide,
advice, or tell us a little bit. What should they expect after finish reading this for someone who's not having marital problems right now? But what would it give them?
It's a mixture. It's a mixture of advice. It's a mixture, and I wouldn't say advice because I always tell everybody your situation can be different than somebody else's situation. However, the word is still the same. And so I take them kind of on a path of what God took me on. And then I insert prayers and decrees for them to speak out of their mouth, because it's by the word God created the heavens and the earth. So it's by the word that we create. And you don't speak what you see, you speak what he says to create.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people are experiencing all kinds of stuff right now in this world. There's so much negativity being thrown their way with, reality TV. You don't see none of the couple like the Bachelorette trying to show people how to find people. The dating world is kind of tough now because now people thinking that if I just hold on a little longer, I probably can find my dream mate, because of the internet. People connecting on the internet, and you're not living in the same state. So you visiting at that pub or that church, she may not be there. She may be in a church across the other side of the globe. Who knows? Where?
Right.
So people's holding, hope. It's like women seem to envision who they feel this man should be. And a lot of times guys kind of not really like that. They kind of want to gel and, they want to be able to connect with their person and have a lot in common. Some guys not into she has to be a beauty queen and that kind of thing. They just want that, that special person in their life. Right. Why women are like that? Why you guys paint a picture like that that's so special to you? Why you guys do that?
I think a lot of, I would say for myself, you look for, in my particular case, I look for my dad. His homegoing a couple of years ago, it wasn't so much about him being gone. It was a valuable person being gone. He was somebody instrumental to my life. And so, now a person that didn't have a father in their life, they're going to look for still somebody to fulfill that role. You know, I might have looked for perfection, what I thought was perfection. My mother thought she had different, you know. But I think it's just what you're looking for, what you're looking to fulfill. And what people fail to understand is that the only one that can fulfill the ultimate role is Jesus. Mm-hmm. He's the only one that can be your all in all.
That's right. So what you're saying, just try to find a guy that's close.
That loves the Lord.
That's right. Let the Lord lead him.
Yes.
Yeah. Amen. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're talking to Cheryl-White. That's right. She is the author, important book, Restoration, Faith, Process, and Manifestation. $15 paperback is coming to you soon in digital. That's right. And don't forget about Pastor Gerald Emmanuel, his book on, I can't remember the title of the book, but we're going to bring these two together. It's going to be a pretty good conversation. I can't wait to hear you guys together. That's going to be something. That's going to be some
awesome
kind of show. You got to make that happen. I know I will find somebody. Yeah, because he's into this book. And I know you are too, into your book. So we get a chance to hear both views. All right. Okay, let's hear a piece from Greg Harris. That's right. This brother has quite a story to tell. He is worthy.
I call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised, and I am saved from my enemies.
God is and I will bless his holy name for all he's done for me. Gave me victory, kept my heart in perfect peace. I will you just cause you're you, Jehovah Jireh. There's no one like you providing me with spiritual food. Your love is the only thing that gets me through. He is worthy of all the glory, and he reigns for evermore. He is worthy, and he's holy, to glory and honor. When I was lost, you came and found me, bound by my flesh. You still surrounded me when I turned my back. You never left, laid up in the hospital. You gave me breath. Should have been dead when I came into this world, but you said that's not so. That's the best word I ever heard. You saved my life, kept me from poverty. I can't express all you done for me. Yeah. He is worthy of all the glory, and he reigns for evermore. He is worthy, and he's holy. The glory and honor to I will praise him, cause he's worthy, and he deserves all the glory. Yes, he's powerful and mighty, and majestic is his name. So I will bless the Lord at all times, in my walk and in my talk, and with everything that I own, I will bless his holy name.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
All right, we're back. Thank you, Robot. This is Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast. That's right, positivepower21.org. That's right, clean music broadcast, y'all. That's right, radio station featuring over 21 channels of music and talk radio right here. We have awesome guests, authors, performers, you name it. Don't forget about Sector 7. They're having a worldwide talent search. You go out to their website, they'll be Sector7Incorporated.com. They're looking for singers, playwriters, stage play directors, you name it. It's just, fashion designers, models, actors and actresses. Check them out, y'all. Sector7.com. Sector7Incorporated, Inc.com. All right. And also, the song you just heard was from, that's right, my man Greg Harris. That's right, he is worthy. And we did hear a piece from Deshaun Nichols earlier, which was titled, and I found that song too. It's called Do What Jesus Says. And that's from Deshaun Nichols. Okay? So check her out. All right, everybody. Just don't forget, we have all independents. We play independents. Pretty much all of our podcasters are broadcasting independent music artists. Support them. We will be having their labels, their covers up on our site. You can just click on it, go to Amazon and purchase it. A lot of times they only go on for like 99 cents. So support those authors. They're awesome. All right. And don't forget about Kimmy Kim. She comes every day, her and Pastor Bellows, both of the Bellows, every day pretty much. And also Craig Hines out in Brooklyn, New York. He has their morning hair show, their morning hair radio show. That's right. And then we have our once-a-week podcasters, Beverly Fells Jones, Commanding Your Life, and my good friend Tina, I Am Superwoman Hobson, her show, Empowering Women on Friday nights. And we usually play that back on Tuesdays. All right, everybody. So that's pretty much. Don't forget about Tea Time. Yeah, Tea Time on Thursday. And we get hear her again. We run her on Tuesday also, coming out of her Thursday broadcast. And she got a new running mate, Shirley Ann. That's right, the Black Diamond. That's right, they got a new show that's going to be featured on Positive Power. Coming soon, they said September. You can find them out on Facebook with their special promotion. That's right, Black Diamond and T. Spence. Also, big news coming out of PositivePower21.org is a storm is coming. That's right, a storm is coming. And that'll be Benita. That's right, Miss B, a.k.a. The Storm, because I nicknamed her The Storm. Everybody gets a nickname. That's right. And she's going to be featured with Jerry Royce Live right on Tuesdays. We're going to be doing some showcase with some guests, and she's going to be bringing insight and spirituality to the broadcast. All right, and you can check her out on Jam Vibes Radio. She's the program director there, and she also does a morning show where you can find on Periscope. That's right, the Scope. That's the new thing right now on social media. You have an opportunity to broadcast a live video broadcast right from your smartphone, and everybody can view it and check you out in real time. And that's simply awesome. I've been enjoying some of those podcasts, learning a whole lot from people. And some of the people seem to be really serious about what they're doing. So there's not a whole lot of nonsense out there, a lot of crap. I think after a while you broadcast a couple messed up shows, you had enough. So, now it's time for the real people to do their thing. And I really enjoy it. I'm listening to Roland Martin. He had Dr. Willie Jolly, was one of my favorite characters. He had him out there today. They was giving a whole bunch of great advice. And also Beverly Ford Jones is on there talking about how to make tea. That's right. And some of those broadcasts are only good for 24 hours, so you got to catch them quick. And I got my favorite guy out there. I think his name is Kevin Driver, I think his name. He has an excellent broadcast on marketing, how to monetize your website. So if you're out there trying to figure out how to make some money with your website online, you can check out Periscope. Some great people out there. All right? Okay. Talking to Cheryl White. Her book is $15, paperback, coming to you soon, digital. We're also waiting to get Pastor Daryl Ham. That's right, on a regular broadcast. That brother, he has awesome prayer lines, and he's full of so much wisdom. And we can't wait to see what the whites do with him. That's right, digitally online. That's right here on Positive Power. When we're reaching overseas, all the military bases. That's right, shout out to all the military people. And we hope that you're getting a lot out of our empowerment broadcast coming right to you through your satellite. That's right, your satellite. That's right. All right, Cheryl. So can we get past? We're gonna be getting past the Ham soon.
Yes, I'm sure. Yes, we will. We will get him. Yes.
Yeah, we're so excited about that. And anybody out there looking at the broadcast, you have a minister who you think is anointed. Of course, all of us think our pastor's anointed, but I mean
But mine's really anointed.
That's right, yours really. Because I hear it all the time. People are like, where's Pastor Hampton? Does he got any new stuff? But they listen to his old sermons over and over. I think we do broadcast at least 6 of them, and people are enjoying them. Each and every time I listen to them, I get something different out of it myself, to be honest with you. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, Cheryl. So you ready to take us home? Your final thoughts for tonight's broadcast. We appreciate having you here.
I thank you so much for having me. I really do.
Yeah, and we're going to have you back, so it's not the last of Cheryl White.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Yeah, I think that's going to be a great show, you and Pastor Gerald, man. That's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. All right, we ready to take us home? Any your final thoughts for tonight's show?
I just tell everyone to just trust the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge him. He will direct your path.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I got here. I guess you heard the story. I was entertaining all genres. It's strictly Christianity right now. The good people bringing the good news to our community. And that's what it's all about.
Yes.
I hear some stories out here. I mean, I think I needed the experience anyway. So I know how important this is. And I mean, the numbers that come out on the number of service women that are being attacked, while they're serving our country is frightening. So I'm sure, they're getting a lot out of this podcast listening to you guys. And some of them are, married and having problems and don't know where to go,
Right.
They protect their own. Just like that shield, the blue shield, they protect their own.
Right.
So this will help out. This book will help, right?
Yeah. Yes, it will.
All right. Yeah, we appreciate having you here. All right, y'all. We're going to go out on my man, Justice. I've been trying to get Justice a little play. That's right, Justice Clark. He has a real hard poetry piece called My Resurrection. Check it out. His brother, he lays it down. So y'all take care. And don't forget to tune in to us regularly. That's right, we do several shows. We co-host with Tea Time on Thursdays. And then also we'll be bringing another co-host show with The Storm. That's right, Benita Clark, a.k.a. Miss B. And in my show with Sector 7, also Tuesdays at 9:30. But, of course, you catch it all on demand or in our live stream after 11:30, Monday through Friday. Take care, everybody. I'm jerry-royce-live. I'm worldwide.
Lord, help me and save me from my wicked ways. Give me one more chance, Lord, and let this be my holy resurrection. I have fallen so many times, Lord, that now it seems harder and harder to rise once again. I need your help. I need your strength. I need your support. I need your love. There was a time when my smile radiated like the morning sun, and words of hope and love were so eagerly sung. I remember there was a time I used to be able to run, perhaps not like the wind, but I still had use of these aching limbs. That was before I broke myself from within. Pain stings me now with each step, as I leave yet another heavy footprint on the path of my own regrets. I was young, I was foolish, I was selfish, I was dumb, yet still you were there to help me in my absurdity and allow me to overcome. I realize now I am still that ignorant child, and I am so ashamed to be your son. So many hurdles that I laid before my own feet. I took for granted so much over the years and became a slave to my own demons and fears. Please tell me that my words do not fall upon deaf ears. I've asked before for your guidance and assistance, and though there were so many times you offered me a better way, another road to ease the weight of this aching load, I showed resistance. Perhaps I was too afraid of the dreaded act of change. It's all so strange to me now, as I recall all the pain from whence I came. Each breath now, as before, is a sacred gift, but now at times it burns my lungs. What have I done to myself? What have I become? Just an aging fool who was too ignorant and self-indulgent to follow the ways of your golden rules. Heal my heart, that at times screams and pounding agony within my chest. Repair its broken clasp. Let me wield thy art and bleed sovereign blood, and let it pump hard like the murmur of my damaged mass. Free me at last from these shackles of sorrow that I've worn in silent shame for so long. Teach me, O Father, how to be strong, how to stop doing so much wrong, and sing thy song for all the heavens to hear, rather than hide myself from me and slither in the demeaning shadows in the filthy company of deceit and lies. Hold me in your arms and keep me safe for another lonely night, until I am there by your side in the healing home of your kingdom of light. Reshape me, mold me, make me whole, create me anew. Let me be what I was dreamt of in my conception, as I was held in the eyes of my mother's view. Let me be a symbol of salvation and a reflection of you. So please, Lord, help me as these tears begin to fall once more. Show me my humble worth. Reanimate me in thy blessed holy image while I still have time upon this earth. And please, let me live again. Lord, help me and save me from my wicked ways. Give me one more chance, Lord, and let this be my holy resurrection.
Thank you for tuning in to Jerry Royce Live on PositivePower21.org and Spreaker.com/PositivePower21. This is a Royce Enterprises production. And don't forget about replay on Facebook.com/Jerry Royce Live.